You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
I would be having anal sex with her in the doggy position and fist her in such a way as to actually squeeze my penis by grabbing it with my hand like it was in a vagina glove of sorts.
Oh my God. This is okay. I vote. Who is this? James? James has given us the most graphic detail of any sex act I've ever heard in my entire life, including all the porn stars we've interviewed. I have never, ever heard something like this.
It's uncomfortable to talk about sex, but sometimes it's important to get uncomfortable. Sex Talk with My Mom is the best mom-son podcast about sex.
It's the only one as well.
My mother is a cougar.
My son is a clown.
In a nutshell, my dad died, so my mother decided to create a YouTube channel all about sex, like all mothers do.
And then my son decides to use my material in his stand-up comedy routines.
And thus, Sex Talk with My Mom was born. Welcome to Sex Talk with My Mom. I'm Cam Potter.
And I'm Karen Lee Potter.
We're off to the races. I didn't even ask you if you're ready to go.
I know.
just said, welcome to Sex Talk with My Mom, and we're in it.
We dove in there, and we're ready to rock and roll. It's a Monday morning, the Monday morning after show.
That means that we're answering your comments and questions. We're hearing about those crazy-ass weekends that you sneaky freaks had. Thursdays, we have a special guest. Well, let's just get into it, Mother.
Whoa, what a lot to get into. Where do we begin?
Well, you made it through your surgery.
Well, let's just say I gave birth to a 12-week fibroid.
So the fibroid was sitting on your uterus?
Yes, on
so
my
they just had to
uterus.
rip the whole fucker out.
They just took that. They took all the organs out laparoscopically. And might I say, the highlight is that I lost 3 pounds. Woohoo!
I am very grateful that you made it out ahead of time, just alive. That's the highlight for me.
I'm glad that you were concerned about my living or dying.
I was extremely concerned, especially when you started texting me minutes before you go under. This is the passcode to my safe. I have a living will, all this shit. I was like, are you planning on dying right now? What's going on here?
It dawned on me that I hadn't solidified all these different issues and thought I might need to get it in writing somewhere so that there won't be any discrepancies in case I didn't make it out alive.
Well, you tied up some loose ends over there.
And I tied up loose ends. Let me just say, there are a few highlights of my excursion over to the Cedars-Sinai Hospital, which I say is a very good hospital.
Is that a celebrity hospital that you get your shit pulled out in?
That's right. I only go to celebrity hospitals. Now, it's a 6-month-old unit, and it was in all state-of-the-art equipment and yada, yada, yada. And I got to say, well, first of all, let's just say that there were some down issues as well. For example, it took 2 hours for them to call us in. And I'm with Dees, who's not the most patient person. And there happens to be a lady waiting for someone who was in surgery who was coughing. She was wearing a mask, but she had an incessant cough. It was almost like out of like I was ready for Larry David to walk in and say, "What the fuck is that?"
Oh,
she's coughing away like there's no COVID going on. Okay, we're all wearing masks, and this woman has like and it wasn't just like a normal cough; it was like that dry cough that they say that you have. So, like, what would you do?
I would get the fuck out.
Well, Dees decides to leave and sit in the corner like on a shelf. He was literally sitting on, I think it was a bookshelf.
Yeah, I would have done that exact same thing.
Okay, well, it's mortifying if you're in a small room and someone's doing that, and it's like the etiquette thing. You don't know what to do. You like the 6 feet rule and all that kind of stuff. It's like people take offense to it if you like call them out on stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've been experiencing that nonstop this weekend. It's like this weekend, COVID has been canceled. Yeah. Everyone can come into contact with each other now.
COVID was canceled. I mean,
COVID was canceled. I'm the only one
who has no idea about it either. Protesting nonstop day and night. I mean,
I tried to protest. I tried to protest this weekend.
You should not protest because you will be immediately infected.
I went to a protest. I tried to remain 6 feet away from everyone. I swear to God, it was like watching Larry David at a protest. I mean, when there's a pandemic occurring. because I'm trying to be active, and at the same time, I'm dodging people's shouts. And I'm so far at this point. I try to get as close as possible, and then I just kept moving back and back and back. And by the time I felt anywhere possibly comfortable, I couldn't hear a word anyone was chanting.
You
I
were
couldn't
just
see
basically
what the
walking
fucking
down the, down the street.
I was like on a completely other block.
Please don't make me laugh. I can't laugh because it hurts my stitches. Don't do this.
Eventually, I left. I said, I'm better off just reading about this shit and like getting,
Right, using our voices to share
Lear-
things, which we will do today for sure.
That said, I very much support everyone who's protesting right now. And I think that I actually appreciate the bravery you're showing despite there being COVID at the same time. But back to your story. What was going on in the hospital waiting room?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with this woman, but it was like to a point. And then there's also like nobody, they have like in between each seat, they say, don't sit here, don't sit there, so there's like, they kind of make you have social distancing.
Oh.
Meanwhile, you're in a hospital waiting area where,
That shit is circulating.
it's circulating. Everyone's wearing masks. The masks aren't effective. And you got this incessant cougher that's right near you. And then you get up. They keep calling me up, like to go. And then they ask me some stupid ass question, like, "Did you get your COVID test?" Yeah, I got the damn COVID test.
Someone else here didn't get the fucking COVID test. You got to get some testing going on over here.
That's right. I don't know who got that COVID test, but it wasn't. Anyway, I was freaking out about I did not want to have this thing go into my nostril. The long one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why I went like 5 days ahead of time to go over to Dodger Stadium, waiting in line over there to get the one that goes in the throat. As soon as I get there, they go, you have to have another COVID test. I knew that was going to happen. They called me all week long, and I told them I already had it. I had the paperwork. I printed it out. She tells me, as soon as I get in the room, you got to have another COVID test. I said, okay, let me just say something. I'm not doing it. So she goes, why not? I go, I'm petrified of you sticking that thing in my nostril. I can't do it. I'll have an anxiety attack. You're going to have to put me under in order to do this. She goes, what if I just do it in your throat? I go, of course, then do it in my throat. If I had known
so
about that, I
she
wouldn't have had to go to Dodger Stadium. She did in my throat. It was nothing, and that was the end of it. And I'm negative.
Wow.
So I have 2 negative COVID tests, but I probably got infected yesterday.
Yesterday at what?
Oh, God.
What?
Well, I went upstairs to see another of the protests, and there was a lot of people having a barbecue. I got to watch to make sure that Deez is also observing the the 6 feet rule, which of course that is like watching a whirling dervish. I mean, it's just impossible. So anyway, needless to say,
Well, what about this? I get a text from you. The first fucking thing I get from you when you come out of surgery is got to talk about this on a podcast, Hadi anesthesiologist.
Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me of that.
The fuck is that?
That was another highlight.
I was like, okay, she made it through. She's good to go.
She made it through. My brother, who's an anesthesiologist, said to me, the most important thing to do is get a real, now he didn't say real anesthesiologist. He's, someone who's already an anesthesiologist, not a resident or an intern. Just, you're going under general anesthesia, the tube down your throat, the whole thing.
Oh, wow. They put a tube down your throat.
Yeah, they put a tube down. I'm still sore from the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I didn't know that I was getting a tube down my throat. Of course, I didn't even know what procedure I was getting. I thought I was getting a vagina procedure, a vaginal procedure. I didn't get that. I got laparoscopic. I didn't know what a procedure I was even getting. They go like, do you know what you're getting? I said, yeah, I'm getting this. They go, no, you're getting that. And then there was another issue, and there was another 20-minute wait. And in walks not the actual anesthesiologist, the one that's supposed to, the doctor in charge. I got the resident. And then he said, well, if you're not comfortable with me being a resident, you can talk to the doctor. And then I felt like, there you go again, Miss People Pleaser. No, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
This person who's been on the job for 2 months. Yeah,
well,
just
knock
me out.
I did ask about his credentials. I said, how long, you got going here? And he goes, well, I'm going to graduate in 20 days. I'm like, oh, okay. You're good to go. Anyway, so meanwhile, the overseeing real, I hate saying real because it's not fair. Okay. The actual anesthesiologist who has already graduated from the residency and everything comes in. He looks like a goddamn movie star. Of course, you're at the Cedars-Sinai Hospital. You're going to get movie star quality looking anesthesiologist. This guy was freaking hot. I'm like, I was sweating. I literally was sweating. I'm like, how can this be? How? And I took the underling on top of it. I couldn't believe it.
You fucked up.
I fucked up huge. He goes, "No, I'm going to be overseeing this." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." But meanwhile, of course, at this point, it was all ready to go. And he asked me what procedure I was getting. Of course, I was tongue-tied looking at him, so I had no idea what to even say at that
Oh
point.
my God.
But I talked to the nurse after he left. I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" She goes, "I know, he's so gorgeous." I go, "He is magnificent." And she goes, "And he's nice."
He is magnificent.
Yes, and she goes, "He's as nice as can be. You should tell him that." I said, "I'm not telling him anything. That's all I need." Anyway, that was the highlight.
So did you tell him?
God knows what I said when I was under. I said something. I probably invited him.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Guaranteed, I invited him on the podcast. Guaranteed. I meant to mention that my doctor, my surgeon, walks in and he says to the resident anesthesiologist, "Ask her about her podcast." I forgot that I must have told him about the podcast. This was before I went under anesthesia.
How are you telling the surgeon about your podcast?
He asked what I do for a living, and I said I host a podcast with my son called Sex Talk with My Mom. And then he goes, "Oh, I love this. Doctor's always fascinated by this. Come in here." He asked the nurses to come in, the techs, everybody, "Come in here. Listen to this. What this podcast is about."
Oh my God.
Yep. Well, it is an unusual podcast.
What is going on over there? Every Monday, it's like
it's a faucet. I'm sorry.
It's that feeling you get when you watch someone who's sick and you start experiencing the symptoms.
Oh, of course, you're blaming me now because I have a little sniffle
I've got
this
a
morning.
waterfall coming down my nose just looking at you.
I'm sorry. It's just like, it's Monday mornings after, the weekend of a lot of different drugs. God knows, I didn't even know what drugs I was taking by the end. I mean, I'm writing it down, but I'm already wasted when I'm writing it down, so I forget what I even took. Then I had to count how many pills were left so many times because I couldn't remember if I wrote it down or I didn't write it down. They gave me so many drugs.
I really hope you threw them all out.
I actually think I am going to throw them out because, why do I keep them?
I don't think we can do this podcast.
Can I just blow my nose?
You keep futzing with the fucking microphone. You're blowing your fucking nose, and you wonder why it takes me hours to edit every fucking podcast because I have to listen through to make sure that you're not fucking hacking loogies into the mic.
Just leave it on. Let's leave it on. Okay, I think I've summarized and sniffled enough.
So you're going under, getting all your shit, your insides taken out.
Yes,
losing 3 pounds of mass. And
I did. I couldn't believe it. The first day I weighed myself and I was exactly the same as the day before. And I'm like, what the fuck? I took out my uterus, my ovaries, my fallopian tubes, my cervix, equivalent
to the fallopian tubes.
I don't know, but the 12-week fetus.
Like little strands of hair.
Okay, whatever. The 12-week fetus definitely weighed something like a grapefruit. How much does a grapefruit weigh? At least I'd lose 1 pound. I lost nothing. I didn't even lose an ounce. But then as a couple days went by, I noticed I got on a scale today and I'm like, woohoo! 3 pounds. Yahoo!
So while you're losing weight in surgery, getting it all removed, the world is on fire over here.
Oh, I'm aware.
I mean, you're in the heart of it all.
I am nonstop circulating helicopters, a protest night. I mean, we went up on the roof. Literally on the roof of my building. Like I could have toppled over easily.
Yeah, and because you could see it all from your balcony, right?
It's pretty.
Or your roof.
Yeah, I could see it all right. It's nonstop, and it's quite moving though. It is. It's like you're part of it, but you're not part of it, and obviously.
I would like to be part of it. I honestly, I'm feeling
you're being part of it by doing what you did. We got a lot of great emails about. We couldn't figure out what to do as far as like putting a post up last week because everything just seemed frivolous. And so I think we did the right thing because we got a couple of emails about it.
Yeah. Yep. We said some people saying thank you. We
basically left it dark. We went dark.
We went dark. And I think for good reason. I think this is a time where we should make sure that we amplify the voices of people that are less represented, and I think this is a really interesting time for change.
And even during my recovery, Literally, I went on a summit for our friends at Good Moms Bad Choices.
I know. I can't believe that you still are getting active
Yeah.
despite recovering.
Yeah, the day after my surgery, I went on. I refused to be on camera, but I went on just to listen and to just hear what everybody had to say, and it was fantastic. And I think that if you go to Good Mamas Bad Choices Patreon page, they're going to have a recap of it there. It was a whole group of women of all ages and races, and there were some teachers there, and just it was a really good hour and a half summit about how to talk to your kids, about when do you talk to kids about racism, and it was fabulous. I loved being part of it, and I dragged my friend Dr. Nancy Sutton Pierce on it as well.
The discussions I'm having these days are just wild, and I mean I'm learning a ton, and I'm also noticing how everyone has a very different relationship with the conversation itself about race, about privilege. Some of my best friends, it's almost impossible to talk to them without them getting like so heated up, even if we share the same opinion.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I wonder where this conversation will lead us, and
Well, it's interesting about that because it's almost like I don't know when I keep asking the family. I don't know what to do. When should I put up a thirst trapping video? I don't know when I'm supposed to be doing that. When is it appropriate again?
I still think it's not appropriate.
It's not
I think
appropriate.
we did get a text from someone who I think sent some a pretty good meme that you could have put up. This is from Dylan D. It says 2 pro Karen memes, hashtag Karen positive. And he sends this picture of someone who's holding a sign that says Karen's against police brutality. And then another sign that says, I'd like to speak to the manager of systemic racism, please.
I love those. Those are great memes. But I
Yeah.
actually am. It's good that you brought that up. Somehow my name gets in the middle of this whole battle. I don't think my name Karen should be equivalent to what's going on in the world right now. I mean, that really pisses me off. They fucked with my name. I don't love it. I want it to be someone else. Can't it be like Bertha? Can't it be someone else? Why does it have to be my name?
Oh my God.
Irritating me.
It's enough with that. This is not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but I don't need to add more fuel to the fire over there. I did want to say though that on TikTok and social media, there's so many different areas there that are being covered. I mean, there's the whole racism thing, there's education, and then there's also like people like just giving basic life hacks. And I'm beginning to think this is a good medium for us to pursue.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad I bring my friend over and you have a
That was one of
fucking
my highlights.
2-hour conversation with him about TikTok.
Yeah, I did. He was one of your fellow human fountains.
Yeah.
Shout out. He really understands TikTok. I want to relate to other older women on TikTok because I think it's important for older women to band together too. And not
Are there a
just
lot of older
negative.
women on
I feel
TikTok
like
right now?
Karen, the whole meme of Karen is actually, I no joke aside, it's put onto women. Especially women that are middle-aged women like myself. It's for no reason. It's just like there are some, of course, there's some elitist, annoying older women out there, but there's also elitist, annoying older men, and younger elitist, same sex or whatever. And I don't understand why you're putting my name on that. It's not. There's no reason for it. It's once again labeling people in a negative way, and I think it counteracts the love that I want to portray.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things that are like they're trying to point out a problem in society, which is for people who are not woke, who have a lot of privilege that don't. I mean, it's easier to put a name to it to
It is,
indicate
but it's
that.
still another form of negative.
Yeah, you're
like,
tearing people down.
yeah, why are you putting people down for no reason? I mean, there are definitely some good ass Karens out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it bothers
I mean,
me.
you could kind of I don't even know if I want to go into this.
I don't like any kind of put down of women in general because I'm a woman, so I
Yeah.
don't think it's a necessity to do that. I'm sorry. If you want to say something, just say what a fucking annoying bitch that was. She deserved to get slapped in that 7-Eleven. Man, I saw this woman speak up, and her name was. Want to hear something funny? Her name was Tamara. Okay, her name is my fucking Hebrew name. I can't win. So now maybe the new meme is going to be the new name to be fucked with is Tamara, and that's my Hebrew name. I can't win.
Is there anything else you wanted to share about your surgery, Mother?
Yes, I do. I want to say that my hip has been bothering me for the last, I don't know, 5 years. It probably was because of this fibroid. So for anyone out there that is contemplating doing something to relieve any kind of physical pain, go do it. Don't be like me and wait around until like it's like the last minute before you finally get around to removing a fucking grapefruit out of your stomach. Just
Wow.
take care of yourself and go to doctors, and if they recommend surgery, get a couple opinions and do it.
I am pretty amazed. I was very amazed by your lack of anxiety. I would think I experienced more anxiety than you did going to the surgery.
I felt very confident with the surgeon. He said if it was my sister, my mother, my grandmother, I would remove everything. So I felt good about that.
We got a text that might relate to this, which is, I love your podcast, but it needs to be more focused around sex. Otherwise, just call Talking with Mom. Just my opinion. Have a great day.
Okay, tell that person to shut the fuck up. What do you think about that?
What kind of sex am I fucking having? Okay?
And right now, I'm not allowed to have sex for 6 weeks, so no one's having sex around here.
I went on a date with someone yesterday, and I was trying to be as open and honest as possible with this person.
No.
And towards the end of the date, I said, "Listen, I don't, you know, I'd love to do a check-in, see where this is going with you, and how you feel about it." And so I said, I'll go first because she didn't want to go first. I said, "Listen, my feelings are quite lustful." Lustful. Meanwhile, I didn't feel comfortable getting within 6 feet of her the whole fucking date.
Because
So
you thought she might be had COVID or something?
Yes. So and she literally is like, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to feel any, libido or sexual desire when I haven't even touched a person's hand. There's no physical contact whatsoever. We haven't hugged, nothing. And I get that. I completely understand. I guess I'm just a little horn dog over here. I think this is a weird time to be dating.
It is a weird time to be dating. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine whose son just broke up with his girlfriend because they were living together. And this living together thing is really pushing relationships to the fucking limit. I mean, I don't know. She was saying how her son broke up mainly because, he's fearful of the future when he doesn't have any money right now. And it's hard to commit to someone, for the future. And then she was saying to me about her own life where, you're on the phone and your partner is sitting there constantly interrupting because they're bored and they don't want to hear what you're talking about. I can relate to that.
I can relate to you relating to that because every time I call you, it's like I'm having a conversation simultaneously with these.
It's unbelievable. We were trying to figure out what to do. We need some sort of a hand signal or like
Yeah, maybe the rule's just like, hey, don't interact with the person I'm on the phone with. It's not like you're on speakerphone.
No, not on a speakerphone. But it is hard in a 1-bedroom apartment to get some
Listen,
peace.
It's hard in a studio to get some peace. I think I might have to move out.
What? You can't stop listening to your neighbors?
No, this is what's happening. I think I'm going to start becoming the annoying neighbor that everyone hates, and I don't want to be that person, so I just might have to move out.
What are you doing?
On one side of me, I got a guy who's probably listening right fucking now. He's smoking nonstop, and the
Smoking
smoke
weed?
no cigarettes, and the smoke just goes right out of his window, right into my fucking window, and I'm just inhaling the secondhand smoke like I'm smoking myself.
I highly doubt it can. If your windows are open, most likely not much is getting into your apartment.
I smell it. What do you mean not much is getting in? I'm constantly smelling. It's like I'm smoking cigarettes.
What if you put a fan in your window and blew it back at him?
I blow shit out of him. What?
Is there a way you can reverse blow?
How about I ask him to stop smoking in the fucking apartment? Isn't it illegal to smoke in your apartment?
I think it's legal to smoke in your apartment. Yes, it is legal.
It is?
Yes, of course it's legal to smoke cigarettes. Where are you going to smoke them otherwise?
Outside. Get out of a building. This is a public space. Anyway, I feel like a little bitch boy, so I don't really want to say anything. And you know what I keep doing? I try to get I've not tried to knock on his door. I think he's playing music or something, so he can't hear. This is a week or so of this. smoke in my face. And and so then I'm like kind of hanging out with my door open in the hallway. It's just like anytime I hear any rustling in the hallway, I just run out to see if, oh, is he there? Can I ask him to stop blowing smoke in my face now?
All right, so put on your big boy pants and knock on the door and say, "Listen, you know, I'm not one to make any kind of judgment here. It's just a safety rule, but I keep smelling a lot of smoke, and you smoke on the other side of your apartment."
There's no other side of the fucking apartment. Why doesn't he close the goddamn window?
Oh yeah, he should close the window, but he probably hates the
Smoke,
smell. He
yeah,
probably
smoke
hates it too.
smoke box at his own place. Not
Smoke
my
box
place.
himself.
Speaking of Karen Move, what's the deal with Saturn, Pluto, and Pisces? What the fuck is going on there?
Oh, well, this is pretty cool, actually. I found some reasons for why this is going on right now. Are you ready?
What is what?
This is
What is
this
that,
is I found
all this social change?
Yes, listen to this. The last time Saturn was in Aquarius was during the Rodney King riots. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn was during the American Revolution, and Neptune was in Pisces when Rome fell. We have all three right now. Whoa.
Ah,
What What is That's a little weird.
you're just trying, like, what if they found Jupiter in that area?
Is a good planet though. That's prosperity and stuff. That's not
What
strife.
what are Saturn, Pluto, and Pisces? Not good ones?
Saturn, Pluto, and Pisces are well, it's much more complicated.
I think these are just correlations that you're seeing.
Yeah, it's correlation.
Did your hot anesthesiologist mention Uber Lube?
No, but I bet when I went under, I mentioned it to him.
Because thousands of doctors recommend Uber Lube as their go-to solution for patients experiencing dryness. Uber Lube is our favorite lube. Why is that, Mother?
There's a lot of reasons. I've used it over the years, and I find that it's my go-to lube. It's like the perfect blend of slippery yet not like gooey. Doesn't have a taste, and basically you can put it on any source, vaginal, oral, anal, and you can even use it on your hair.
You can use it underwater or in the shower. It's the perfect fucking lube, and it comes in a beautiful glass bottle. And you put it on your nightstand, you feel like a badass motherfucker right there.
When you put it on your nightstand, if you have kids, they think it's like, a perfume bottle. That's how beautiful it is.
I knew it was lube, Mother. It says Uber Lube on the fucking bottle. Right now, you can get 10% off and free shipping when you use promo code MOM, M-O-M, at uberlube.com. That's 10% off and free shipping on our favorite lube. You just use promo code MOM at uberlube.com.
I do have some mom's weird news.
Okay, hit it with the mom's weird news.
Mom's news, mom weird sex facts. Now, okay, so this one.
Mom's weird sex facts?
Yep. Mom's weird sex facts. It's from a company called Astroglide, so I wouldn't say it's like the most reliable informed sources, but I believe these things are true because otherwise, why would they write them? There's 3 of them. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, you can't buy dildos in Alabama. Okay. Now,
is this just like a fun facts type of thing?
Yeah, fun facts. First of all,
can't buy dildos in Alabama?
If you do, you can face a maximum fine of $20,000, the possibility of 1 year in jail, or even 12 months of hard labor. In short, you can buy bullets, but you can't buy the bullet. Get it? Aha.
Oh my God.
It's reason enough for me not to ever live in Alabama or even travel there.
If we have any listeners from Alabama, please chime in at Yes Text Mom. Text us or leave us a voicemail at Yes Text Mom. I want to hear how the fuck you guys are masturbating out in Alabama.
Well, it says the good news is Alabama residents can legally cross state lines and stock up on many dildos and French ticklers as their heart's desire. The toys just can't be sold or purchased within the state.
No way.
That's
So
nuts.
everyone in Alabama has to fucking go out of state to get their fucking vibes? No way.
It's crazy shit going on. Another fun fact. Oral sex was illegal in Canada until 1969. I know you're thinking 1969, right?
Yeah. Is that why you find this interesting, or is that
one of the reasons I find interesting is that was a weird year to be, become legal. But is that possible? That
why do you even have a fucking rule like that? Like, who is going to just Are you gonna catch someone in their house doing some
Yeah.
oral, and
Listen to
then
this, though. Sarah Aspler at BuzzFeed reports Canadian law prohibited homosexual acts in sodomy, which included oral and anal sex, under the statute until 1969. So it took them long enough, but at least they eventually came around, if you know what we mean.
I think it was a very late year for the U.S. as well.
But you're right. By contrast, the United States didn't toss out its oral sex laws until 2003 when the Supreme Court struck down anti sodomy laws in 14 states in Lawrence versus Texas.
Unreal.
That's pretty unreal that you came up with that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's. Could you believe that's less
That's
than
17
20?
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 17 years ago, people couldn't be doing anal. Now,
That's
anal every day.
anal everywhere. Anal, 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 anal. What's really funny is like I've been saying this for a while that I knew that when I was watching porn that I never saw a lot of anal. Well, that's probably why.
I can't believe that. That is wild.
And for
How
the
times have changed.
times they are changing.
I actually,
And then there's
Elon
one
Musk.
more.
Okay, go on.
Vaginas grow with arousal. Guys aren't the only ones who wrestle with the eternal debate of grower versus shower, according to Dr. Debbie Herbernick at the Kinsey Confidential, the Sexuality Information Service of the Kinsey Institute for Research in Sex, Gender, and Reproduction. A woman's vagina can almost double in length when she's aroused, a process called vaginal tenting.
Oh, I know about vaginal tenting.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever I've never inspired it to anyone, but I'm
During
aware of
sexual
it.
excitement, muscular tension pulls the uterus upward, which has the effect of making the vagina both longer and wider. Now, instead of being 3 to 4 inches length, a vagina may reach approximately 5 to 6 inches in length. Dr. Herbernick notes that vaginal tenting may explain why a woman sometimes feels tighter to her partner during intercourse.
Huh?
I wonder how that's going to be for me, considering the fact I have no uterus anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It may
You're gonna
affect
have a huge fucking tent.
a huge tent or no tent. I don't know what's going to happen with the tenting. No one mentioned this to me when I was getting my surgery that I may not be able to vaginal tent anymore.
We had a listener chime in. Say, this is Adam. He said, "Good luck, Karen Lee, on your surgery. I know it's a tough
Thank
one and
you.
a hormonal whirlwind afterwards. Sending positive vibes for a quick and easy recovery." So
That's
what's the
very
deal?
nice.
Do you know about the hormonal situation that's
I
about
think
to
he's
take
talking about
place?
someone who, their hormones were working. My hormones probably stopped working about 20 years ago, so I'm not really concerned about the hormonal shit.
But you
Uh,
still take a lot of hormonal
I
shit.
take hormones, and that's another thing. All you women out there, ask your doctor about taking hormone replacement therapy. I highly recommend it.
Wow. Well,
Yep, it helps with like bone density and things like that, as well as other issues.
just to get back to what you were saying in Mom's News, which was just riveting news.
I knew
I
you'd find that to be fascinating.
It actually was pretty interesting. I am actually amazed at how quickly in our lifetimes we can see something go complete 180 in terms of
Totally.
legislation. And I was reading a tweet this morning from Elon Musk that says selling weed literally went from major felony to essential business open
Yeah,
during pandemic.
isn't that that is it's an essential business? Crazy.
And then he goes on to say in much of America, and yet many are still in prison. Doesn't make sense, isn't right.
Seriously, I have a friend whose husband went to jail for transporting marijuana across state lines.
How would you feel about
6 years he got.
Can you believe this? You spend years of your life in
Years.
jail for this shit, and then it becomes an essential business? Are you fucking kidding me? It's unreal. What the fuck is going on with
But
our
that
jailing system?
but I also think this is a positive sign that we can make some positive changes as to who we
Yeah.
put in jail. So I look
It's
at the positive.
it's fucking sad as fuck at the same time.
If by the way, if you want to listen to a black couple who I really respect opinion or I guess I would just say a podcast speaking about their feelings and thoughts, I go to Mouthpeace. It's Michael Bennett and his wife Pele. We've been on their show. I, unbeknownst to me, had no idea. I just for some reason went and gravitated to them for some guidance, and I listened to it, and it was fascinating. And it also was 8 minutes and 46 seconds long. But
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
It is, some people are like, oh, if you're silent right now, or if you post the black square, you're not saying enough. Or
And
if you're posting, then you're saying you should. It's just
you should.
this
You
is
can't
such
win.
confusing fucking times.
Yeah, and you know what I think. Follow your gut. I always say follow your gut. You got to follow your gut. If you feel like thirst trapping right now, then thirst trap. You know, follow
Mhm.
your gut. If you don't feel like thirst trapping, don't do it.
Yeah,
If you feel like talking
I don't
about your
think it's
surgery on a
the right
podcast,
time for thirst trapping.
if you feel like thirst trapping, maybe it brings some joy to someone who's been down and out.
I
So
would like to. My intuition is telling me that we need to share this wonderful text we got about a fisting story.
there you go. Fisting 101. Let's hear it.
James says, "Well, I have a fisting story. A few years before meeting my wife, I had some fun times exploring the swinging lifestyle. Now, I'm no huge hung guy, so I decided to bling up my schlong with a Prince Albert.
Wait.
Worked
The
out.
Prince Albert that's a piercing.
It's a piercing that
Yeah.
fucking goes right into the pee hole, into the fucking penis.
Would you ever get a Prince Albert?
Mom, no fucking way. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You know, I already have so many penile problems. You think I need to fucking add a piece of metal
what,
down there?
What penile problem do you have?
I'm convinced every other day that I have either testicular cancer or some
What?
sort of mutation. I don't know, who fucking knows.
You got a mutation on your dick?
I don't know, mother. I don't need the added
You
stress
are-
of having a metal object down there.
Okay, but just remember, you already asked you had a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
podcast dedicated to talking
I
to
thought I had Peyronie's
urologist.
disease. Yeah,
You thought you had
Peyronie's
some. What is that? A curvature of your dick?
or Peyronie's disease, not Peyronie's, Peyronie's. I think is where it's there's a strange curvature. As muscle builds up on one side of the penis, is usually as a result of a fucking
Masturbating?
traumatic injury.
Oh, like if you broke your penis?
If you broke your penis, it starts growing in a strange way and it starts being painful, especially painful with sex.
You thought you had this?
Yeah. Because I didn't know how curved.
Stop making me laugh with my stitches right now. What
Well,
do
I
you
didn't
mean?
know how curved a penis should be. I didn't know the normal, because I was watching some porn where it's just like straight out, and my penis has some curvature to it. And
Everyone has a curve. I don't think I've ever seen a straight out dick.
I've seen some straight out penis.
I think everyone
And
has
then
a little.
he actually told me that a lot of times if if an adult performer loses some of the strength in the penis, that the shape just it just changes shape, and some people's will just go straight out as opposed to stand erect.
I was with a guy once who had like a sickle,
Yeah,
and it was like a sickle shaped. It was almost like an anchor.
Yeah.
None of that matters. It does not at all, because you know what? If you're going into a vagina, the vagina can move around, as we know from this last weird news, that it can change shape.
Tenting all over the place.
Yeah.
Well,
So are you still concerned about your Peyronie's disease?
I think on an unconscious level, I'm always a little insecure about my penis, because I find myself occasionally, maybe once every other month or so, looking up different penis shapes, seeing how the size and shape of color of a penis, or who knows.
If any of you guys or anyone in general, it doesn't have to be a guy, are concerned about shapes of penises, please let us know. Yes, text mom. I want to know if Cam is floating here in the wind by himself or not, or if there's other people out there concerned about this issue.
All right, so let's keep going.
Because I'd like to alleviate all doubt about penises. They're all different, like a little snowflake. Every penis is different, and it should be celebrated for whatever it looks like and feels like. It's what you do with the penis that counts, not whether or not it looks bigger, smaller, curved, flat, thin, fat. It doesn't matter.
You're speaking the truth. When I go to that Korean spa and I see all those men's dicks, I mean, it is.
No two are alike.
Oh my God, the variation is unbelievable. There's no part of the body that is as variable as the penis, I don't think.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
see
hanging right out
ears-
there.
You don't see ears that are like on some ears tend to be proportional to the rest of the person's body. You're not going to see like one where the ear is like half the face, right? Some of these dicks, I swear to God, like third legs. They're fucking like it literally is going as long as down to the person's knee.
Like a horse dick.
A horse. Some of
Yeah.
them so small you can't even see it. You don't know. You can't see shit in there.
Yeah, I had all of those.
Unbelievable. Anyway, let's keep going on with the Prince Albert. So this guy's got a Prince Albert blinging up his schlong. He says it worked out quite well. I became a novelty among the ladies in the swinging lifestyle.
There you
This
go.
one event, I hooked up with an exceptional lady who liked to send out pictures of herself masturbating with large objects, like a wine bottle, large dildo, or whatnot. As I'm just an average size guy, and she was experienced with gaping, I found things to be just insufficient for my buildup to really take place.
Even with the Prince Albert.
So he basically, what he was saying is, this woman was so, you know,
She liked it large.
she was
She
so
liked it large.
she was so agape that he wasn't feeling enough friction to actually come or whatever.
Oh my God.
So he
What
says,
do you
"What?"
do?
So he said, "What should I do?" Well, if I just position myself and slide my hand in, well, I
Oh,
found it quite accommodating to simply masturbate myself while inside her vagina.
whoa. There's a positive reframing if I've ever heard one. Whoa, that's awesome.
After that night, it became common for her and I. And also, she liked this other thing. This other thing. I would be having anal sex with her in the doggy position and fist her in such a way as to actually squeeze my penis by grabbing it with my hand like it
Oh,
was in a vagina glove of sorts.
oh my God. This is okay. I vote. Who is this? James? James has given us the most graphic detail of any sex act I've ever heard in my entire life, including all the porn stars we've interviewed. I have never, ever heard something like this.
James and the giant fucking peach. For real.
James and the giant fist. What the fuck?
He goes on to say, I fisted a few other ladies in my life, but she was the only one to be at that extreme fetish level. Odd story I thought you might get a kick out of. Crazy
I
world,
get
my
it.
friends. Stay safe. Unreal.
He should also maybe, instead of, you know what, I got another idea for him. Stick a vibrating dildo in there with his dildo. So it's almost like he's got, double penetration in the
wow.
one hole.
Oh, wow.
I wonder why he never thought of that.
Put a vibrating dildo in with his dick.
Yeah, why not?
It's like DP, and he gets to vibrate at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal idea.
Yeah.
Although it sounds like this was many years ago. A few years ago.
He doesn't have the gaper any longer.
Wow. The gaper.
The gaper. Wow, that is the craziest story. Okay. He had a gaper.
Wow.
All right.
Unreal. I very much appreciate that story. If you guys have stories related to fisting or gaping,
Or
please
any
hit us
story
up.
at this point. I mean, I never thought I can be wowed, but I was just wowed by the gaping story. That's wild. Thank you. Thank you very
James,
much.
for that story. That's unreal.
We also had some interesting emails. I'd like to share one with you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what to make of this, so I'm just going to share it with you because it was kind of odd, and I'm guessing this is someone who is bullshitting us. But here we go. I'm a 15-year-old sexy girl, and I want to have fun.
Wait, no, hold on. This was not an email. This was a review that we received on iTunes.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was an email. I'm a 15-year-old sexy girl. I've never had sex before, but I want to have sex so bad. I have someone who, if this is the truth, then we got somebody for this girl, who, and when she gets to be 21 or whatever the age is, like really hard sex. I'm pan, so I'm free for sexy girls and sexy boys and other genders. Here's my number. If anybody wants it, in parentheses, I'm ugly if you ask me. By the way, I will do whatever you want. P.S. This podcast is really interesting. What's your feeling on this? I didn't know what to make of this, and I'm like,
honestly, I think it's a troll.
I think it's a troll, and I think that troll would be great with our Matt G, who also likes to be having all different kinds of sexy positions. So,
well, I just also want to say this podcast is really not meant. This is an 18 and older podcast.
yeah,
If you're
so
under
that's why
18,
I think that's bullshit.
if you're under 18, try not to listen to this. We should do a disclaimer at the beginning of every episode where we
Yeah,
say, don't listen to this.
Yeah, this is for people, and even if you're over 18 and are still immature, don't listen to us either. Okay, get mature.
Mature audiences only.
Yeah.
So no more trolling. Although we do appreciate any rating and review that you leave us.
Especially if
And,
it's 5 stars.
Yeah. So
If
please
it's under
leave
5
us.
stars, don't give us any fucking rating.
You can figure out how to rate us and where to rate us most easily by going to ratethispodcast.com/mom. It really helps us expand our reach, expand the type of guests that we can get onto the show, and it makes our day. So please do that.
There's another one
Yeah.
called Funny and Vulnerable.
Mom, you're not supposed to. What are you going through? You're going through all the fucking reviews right now? We're supposed to save some of these week after week.
One more.
All right.
Because so far it's been odd. I love how this show takes the typical script about sex and flips it on its head. I'm inspired by Cam's vulnerability, and honesty in sharing the trials and tribulations of his sex life. Even in the sex advice world, we usually only hear the stories of success, and there's something really comforting in knowing that I'm not alone in experiencing awesome times and embarrassing times. Keep up the good work, you two. 5 stars.
Actress 87. Thank you very, very, very much.
Yeah.
I am glad that these trials and tribulations are going to use, and
misery loves company, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to try to get out our real, authentic stories, and I'm glad that that's coming through. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little indulgent in my own neuroses, and I'm glad that I'm glad it has a positive effect sometimes. Thank you. We did get an email, speaking of Matt G.
Oh, yes.
Would you like me to read it?
Well, in case someone doesn't know who Matt G is, he's one of our little sneaky freaks. And he has proposed to me on more than one occasion.
Right.
And he likes to have sex in lots of different positions, and would apparently like to have sex with me in lots of different positions.
Well, this subject, it says, "Hey, Cammy the Joker," and then it says, "Hi guys, Cammy the Joker, ha 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 ha," with a clown face. "Hi, Karen Lee. How are you, my sex goddess? And we seriously need to have sex with Kama Sutra sex positions. Hey, Karen Lee, have you gotten my responses? Matt G." Okay. I've had enough. I've had fucking enough, Matt G. I appreciate that you're calling me a joker, that you think I'm a clown. I appreciate that because sometimes I lose sight of that. But I don't need you fucking hitting on my mom and telling her you want to fuck her in every position. Every goddamn week. I don't need to wake up. I don't need to wake up to those fucking emails.
It's not many people though that know the Kama Sutra position, so I will give him credit for his education. He's willing to learn.
Matt G honestly sounds like a sweet guy.
He does.
He
was quite troubled by the fact that he didn't understand why we didn't have a podcast on Thursday because it was just blank. I don't think he understood the meaning of why we kept it blank, but I'll tell him right now, Matt G. The reason we kept it blank is we were having 8 minutes and 46 seconds of silence in memorial for what's happened in this world, and specifically to George Floyd.
Yes. And I'm sorry that we couldn't address your requests for my mother's Kama Sutra sex positions that day. All right. I think we got to wrap it up, Mother.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, son. Unless there's some other items on the agenda that we missed, because there was quite a lot that we went through. Quite a lot.
Well, I think it's time. So maybe a little song and dance on the way to lead them out. And one last thought of, if you enjoy this show, you can really help us out by sharing it with a friend, someone who could use a little pick-me-up during this time of incredible change and sometimes pain. So,
not to mention that we had a couple new patrons. Patron is a member, another way that you could support us and become part of our sneaky freak crowd. It's patreon.com/sextalkwithmymom. And if you go there, you can get all kinds of bonus content that we don't put here. And you also get behind the scenes content. And you also get to be a member of our little hangouts that we do once a month. So hopefully, if you join us there, we'll get to have a much more intimate contact.
Hell, goddamn yes.
So, and let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and having your little surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
It rhymed. It's
It rhymed.
relevant. I'm very proud of you, Mother.
Yeah, not bad. I think maybe surgery did something to my brain.
Wow. Could you imagine?
I don't know.
All right.
Guys,
love you
we
guys.
love you.
Thank you for listening. Bye.